What's up, everybody? Good morning. Happy Monday morning, wherever you're listening to this, if such a thing exists. I was finally, knowing if anyone ever personally knows me, they've heard me say, some not so flattering things about the state I was born in, being New Jersey. But finally, got something good on New Jersey Saturday night at Metlife Stadium for Supercross with the East West Showdown out there as well. And it started out as a normal night but once the bottom fell out, that was actually really special. And we know me, if you do follow Racing Rosinski on Twitter, when it starts pouring down NASCAR aim, I said, just call it so we can get the whole damn thing in tomorrow. Just get it over with. I'm always that person. And like they called it, like we're still taking their time to get everything fixed between races. I wasn't happy. Like you can see the giant, just long red band coming towards them. And, you know, I didn't want to be up all night personally. And the track was a swimming pool, but I'm happy no one listened to me. I haven't seen, Ricky Carmichael, like they haven't seen that even in their lifetime. So, I got to see that thing and it was special and just mud flying everywhere. Did they shorten the races, just for mechanical issues so nothing overheated or did anything like that? Yes. And because it had to be beating the riders to death. But that was an amazing thing to watch. If you didn't see it, for the love of God, I say it enough. Go on Peacock and watch a Supercross race from New Jersey. You're gonna have to get through the big lightning and delay and all that, and the heats before all that. But once they go to the main events and all that mud's flying everywhere like that, that is truly an amazing spectacle to see. And I highly recommend it just for that because Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart was up in the booth too. Like so many of them, I never saw this in my lifetime. And look how long they've been involved in the sport. So, really, really cool. Before we get into the races, though, best wishes to Joshua Varese. Went down hard, caused a red flag. I mean, he got flung. Uh, didn't look good. Got up really slow. He did walk off, but you know, people have walked off through really, bad things. People are racing with torn ACLs right now. Like, stuff like that happens. And I'll give an update on the Twitter page at Racing Rosinski, whenever something is available. They didn't have anything out, yet at this time. So check out there. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't be following the Twitter page. It's fantastic. You get to see some really good stuff from me there. But that'd be where I'm going to update it because I get a lot more interaction out of that. So make sure you follow there. And it gets us to the East West Showdown for the 250s, which is fantastic. I've been waiting for it. And the 450s. I mean, again, like I said, James Bubba Stewart was in the booth again. Got to see his brother Malcolm at the track, and at least there, which is really great to see after, blowing his knee out really right away in race number one, having that happen. It's good to see him at the track, though. So that means a lot of progress is being made there. And, again, had enough knee injuries. Don't rush it. Listen to everything, and he'll be back just as good, if not better, than ever. But still good to see him, regardless of that. See, there's the yawn. Welcome to Monday morning. But 250 heat race for the West because they each got a heat, and the East got a heat, the West got a heat, and then the LCQ is everyone left from those combined into one to get the last position. So, a lot more people had the chance of going home. But 250 West, RJ Hampshire got the whole shot, dominated. Jet Lawrence did make it interesting at the end. He almost got him. He went in there. And Jet went from like way back to right on him and showed, the speed that he had. I think if he had another lap, he would have had him. And, that is what it is. But he made it interesting at the end. No one can hate him for that. Good run for RJ Hampshire. Had a lot of them lately. Great to see. 250 East heat race. Hayden Deegan got into Hunter Lawrence at the start. Not necessarily the smartest move I saw. Again, Hayden Deegan, super talented, but he's still overly aggressive at times, which, he's 17. What do you expect? They all do it, so hopefully, he'll get better at that. But not a good way to start off everything. Joe Shimoda got the whole shot. Shimoda went on to win with Hunter Lawrence behind him in second. Again, good racing. Can't complain. Good stuff. 450 Heat 1. Cooper Webb got the whole shot, but ended up finishing second to Ken Roxon, who's been on a pretty good run here lately. And then 450 Heat 2. Chase Sexton won it by a mile. In his own zip code, he was gone. A lot of good racing there, but Chase, if he keeps, when he doesn't have issues, which he has so many of, which is the problem, he wouldn't, it's just that's the issue. He always has something. No matter what, last weekend in Atlanta, nothing. And look how good he ran. Look at the points he's given up. If he didn't have, any, whether it's a mental lapse or whatever that happens, think of how fantastic he would be. I mean, he'd be out by a mile right now if he didn't have all these issues. So, he's got to figure that out because it happens way too much. But got the heat win. The Futures main event, Bowmeyer got first. Yeah, her Bowmeyer. They pronounce it Bowmeyer when he got interviewed after. So I'm going with Bowmeyer, even though Ricky did call him Bomer. Bennett was second, almost got him in the last corner. He was right there. That was a hell of a good race, too. So there's a lot of good racing in this one. So go on Peacock and find it. And no, they don't pay me. No one does. Andy Francesco was third. And again, really, that was the best racing wise I saw in the Futures race that they've showed. People were right there and it was actually racy. So that was really good to see. 250 LCQ. Park made contact with Veriz and he went down and out of contention. That was the first time he went down. Sadly, he went down again. Red flag came out. Just under 2 minutes to go. So, yeah, Joshua Veriz, thoughts, prayers, best wishes, all of that. Hope it wasn't anything serious. He didn't look very happy with it. So only time will tell, but we've seen enough of it already this year with injuries. Like I mentioned, Malcolm, all kinds of stuff. So hopefully that's it. They restarted with the staggered, start. Shock ended up winning. Henry Miller on the 66 also went down the last corner hard, and he didn't get back up quick. Same thoughts and prayers to him. He rode off holding his side. They're wondering if he was going to try to finish the race. He ended up getting on his bike, holding his side, and at least trying to drive away. And he didn't look very good. Again, no update was given yet. So whenever I figure that out, when they update it, I'll put it on the Twitter page. But it's been a rough year. Sucks to see it go down. I don't know how they're still riders at the rate they're going. But tough one. Thoughts and prayers to both Henry Miller and Joshua Veriz. Add two more to the list of guys that went down and really, really hard. Way more this year than last year by a mile. And then the 450 LCQ, much more quiet. Simonson got the win. And that's where the normal stuff stopped because 250 guys were out in the gates ready to go when they called it for lightning. And when you think about it, I was pissed off at the beginning, just saying just end it because, lightning. And again, there was a big red band they showed coming right at it and they were taking their time. And, I was yelling so we can get it in. But if they did start it, then they'd have to do a whole restart. Like it just, I'm glad they did it, how they did it in retrospect. I still don't like it. Still, wish that they had done, I don't know, better planning, timing, and all that. But the racing we got at the end of it, at the end of the rain delay, was fantastic. I'm sorry for the chair. I'm glad they didn't, wait till the next day. They let them go in that because it was just fantastic. It was dumping buckets on them still while they were racing. People running out of tear offs on their goggles. Hunter just took them completely off at the end there and flung because he ran out of tear offs. Like it was the craziest thing ever after we had that hour or so rain delay because the lightning delay really. I mean, that was the wettest, muddiest thing I've ever seen in my life. 250 Main cuts 12 minutes because of the weather and the mud. And again, bikes and all that. Make sure nothing overheated, no damage was done from the mud and all that. So, and again, the riders trying to hold on. That's a lot extra on them too. In those conditions, so I completely understand with them, understand them cutting the time. And I agree with it, but Hayden Deegan went down the pure mud, the slop, whatever you mean, swimming pools in some spots. A few times there at the end, people are slipping, sliding all over the place. The whole entire time. But Max Ansey got the win. He looked really, really good. And Jet Lawrence again, he was back. He made it real interesting at the end. Again, Max Ansey, MXGP experience running and stuff like this. Not really a thing in America, but Jet Lawrence made it really, really, really close to getting him right there at the end. And then his brother Hunter finished third. But shout out to RJ Hampshire again. He ended up finishing, I think, last of all the guys that, started at least. for what he did, but he fully sent it into that last turn. He was wrecked way before he got to the last turn. Got into Jet. Jet managed to get his bike off him, get back on it, and go and still get second. But the full send that RJ Hampshire did, kudos to him for at least trying. I mean, I don't know what else to say. You go back and find him. I mean, you see Jet, he's go, oh, he's already wrecked way there. Like he slid like sideways. He was wrecked way before he got to you. He just happens to be in inches of mud, so he just kept going. So big credit to that. Jet was okay with it. He seemed actually amused by it once the time he saw it. But yeah, that was insane. That was what the hell? The replay makes it all worth it. So find it. That was amazing. He couldn't get it back going, sucked, but at least he went for the full send. It's not a good points night, but he went for it, and good for him. And again, great racing in the mud. First time we saw it. 450s delivered as well, reduced to 17 minutes from the normal 20. Then there's a lot of just weird stuff. Justin Barsham cut off Chase Sexton, did one of the normal into the turns, except they made contact. And Sexton went down, out of intention. He still didn't finish, horrifically. But, he was too far back from the leaders to be able to do anything. And then later on, we saw Jason Anderson driving to the back of Cooper Webb when something happened. And, Cooper went, like a lot of people ran into each other. Whether we're talking Barsha and Sexton, Webb and Anderson, like there were people, doing their normal moves, except people are in mud. So, it just made it more interesting. And Barsha, he did go a long time without doing anything. And Chase kept going to a fourth. It was just, you got to watch the race to understand how sloppy and just abnormal it really was. But by the end of it all, there's only 4 people on the lead lap. Cooper Webb is the last of those lapped, and he just moved over and let the leaders go. So respect to him, for letting that happen. But Justin Barsha was just gone in the mud. He did his thing. Eli was, trying to make something of it, slipped a little, and that, took that away from being a race. But like Justin Barsha deserved that win. Congratulations to him. First win in over 2 years. I know I'll never hear this shit. I wish he would, but he was in his own zip code. He earned it. It was really cool to see. Eli still got a second. Again, he was up there. He tried to make it interesting, slipped. And, what's the point of pushing it at that point? It's a great points day for him. I fully understand that. Ken Rock's in third, so good to see Ken up there again. Justin and Ken have been doing, seeing their name a lot more the last couple races, which is exciting. So it's not just, Eli, Cooper, and Chase all the time. Really cool to see that. Chase Sexton got a fourth after everything. Cooper Webb rounded it out in fifth. But great to see Justin Barsha finally get one, And you could feel it. You could see the emotion on him, even through the mud and all that. You could see the excitement and all that on his face and everything. Like he really needed that, and he earned it with the conditions they were in. He absolutely nailed it, and he's coming on good here at the end. I mean, I think he's too far back for it to make a difference, but it's good to see him and Ken coming up here and getting points and getting wins and in contention and stuff all the time. It's kind of like Jason Anderson. Once all the stupid was done last year between him and Malcolm, he might have won like all those races at the end, but he was too far back, for it to make a difference, enough to get the championship. And those guys are in that thing, just like Chase Sexton. He's there, but at one point he gave up 30 points. So far, at least last number going into last weekend. So it's by being dumb going into this weekend, actually gave up 30 points. So, if he didn't have that, he'd be in the lead. And I just think even if he, chunks them together now, it's too late. But he has looked, better. And again, him slipping it all, in the conditions they were in, people hitting each other, like completely understandable. And anything that happened there, I don't count that against any of them because it was insane. But points coming out of it, 250 combined, SX, the combined stuff. Hunter Lawrence first, Chet Lawrence is second at -22, Hayden Deegan third at -49, Max Ansie's fourth at -50, and RJ Hampshire's fifth at -61. Would have got some more points, but full send, everyone got by him, couldn't get up and going. It cost him, but man, was it cool. 450, Eli Tomac's first, Cooper Webb second at -11, Chase Sexton's third at -21. So now those 30 points, he'd still have a 9-point lead, but I just think 21, it's just too much with a little bit of time that they have left to make a difference. And Cooper Webb seems to be on a downward, backwards slide. And I said, Eli bounced back. He's been the one to bounce back better from between the him and Cooper for when dumb stuff happens. And he did it again here, finishing second. And Cooper was back in, fifth. And he didn't look, again, fantastic in the heat races either. I don't, what he finished second in it, but he didn't get to the lead and he didn't look, fourth in Atlanta. Couldn't do more than that. Like, it's just been a weird couple of weeks for him. He could turn it all around. Don't get me wrong. He could turn it all around, but coming up in Nashville, only time will tell. Next race again, Nashville, Nissan Stadium, 250 East in the 450s, round 15 this weekend coming up. And Hunter will close out the championship unless something really catastrophic happens. So that's all his. So I'm not going to congratulate him yet and jinx him, but that's coming. And the 250 West off until round 16 in Denver at Empower Field at Mile High to close out the 250 West season. So we'll see the Lawrence brothers each getting the championship in the East and West respectively. And again, that's what we all expected coming in. So who the hell is going to complain about that? But overall, I like the racing when it was, before the storms, and I really like the racing after the storms. So congratulations to Supercross, getting it, waiting it out, and doing the thing and not listening to miserable people like me, and the fans were still there. And that mud, that just added a whole thing, because there's Ricky going, I've never even seen this. And, that just added a really cool thing. First time back in New Jersey since 2019. That was really cool to finally see that, it worked out and it happened. I'm sure it was all COVID related, but that was really cool to see, even though football stadiums are open and stuff like that for people, but who's counting? And overall, it was a good night of racing. Can't complain. Looking forward to the final leg of the 2023 season, which then gets into the pro motocross season, which then gives us, the super motocross, it gives us the playoff races for the first time. One of them's down the road by the Charlotte Motor Speedway. When I say down the road, it's 4 or so hours, but that's coming up till first time doing that in the championship. So that's really exciting stuff. And I look forward to it all, but that's where I'm gonna leave it. Make sure you check out the show for the ARCA Menards race, the Xfinity Series Ag Pro 300. The rest of them are coming. I promise. I'm just trying not to dump them all at once. The Cup Series, Formula E, Snowcross, those are all coming as well. Don't forget, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify for podcasters, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Good Pods, YouTube, Rumble. It's all over the place. Check out the Substack under the name Racing with Jesse Ruzinski. Share the hell out of every single one of them, because that's the best kind of advertisement. Check out the socials. Again, Racing Ruzinski on Twitter and TikTok, Racing with Jesse Ruzinski everywhere else. I appreciate all of you. And until we meet again, enjoy your day. Peace out. I'm out. Bye.